Back for part 3. Let's see how far we can get for part 3.
ブラック、
ブルー、
どうしたんです？ぼーっとして。
なんでもない。街を眺めていただけだ。
そうなの？楽しいですか？
さあ、別に楽しむために眺めていたわけじゃない。
さっきのひったくり、なんで見なかったふりを？
私の出る幕ではないと思ったからだ。
さあ、諦めたんですか？本物のヒーローになること。そろそろ行きましょう。もうすぐ撮影の時間です。いつぶりかしら。テロのショックが落ち着くまで無期限延期なんて言われて気が気じゃありませんでした。
I was just thinking now, I wonder how Black will act with the shoots now, even as well. If even just her normal hero activities are traumatized for her, how does acting as a hero affect her?
まだ時間はあると思うが。
移動にかかる時間も考えないと。
Archranger Blue nudges Archranger Black forward. On the way to the set, many people recognize Blue and ask for autographs and photos. She smiles, responding to each and every request. Most of the people also recognize Archranger Black at her side. But seeing the far-off look in her eyes, her tightly shut lips, and the hood pulled over her head, none of the fans say anything. An hour and a half later, the two finally arrive on set. Wow, it took them quite a while to get to the set.
歩いて15分の距離とは思えないほど時間がかかってしまいましたね。
I was gonna say.
ブルー、君にとってアークレンジャーとは何だ？
どうしたんですか？急にそんな重い質問。
すまない。だが、どうしても聞きたくなった。君は違うようだからな。
違うって何がです？
うまく説明できないが、君は誤解しないで聞いてくれ。ヒーローからは最も遠い存在のように見える。
それはそうです。だって芸能人ですから、私。
I wonder how you would translate Genojin. Rather. Entertainer seems right, but it's more... Yeah, I never thought of that actually before. Because I tend to watch a lot of Japanese streamers and YouTubers. And I see that term used often for people who are in like comedy, like comedians or streamers. Like I can understand why they were. Well, not obviously I'm not comparing it, but I can understand why entertainer is there as well. Like I'm just trying to think of a different way I could explain it, but I don't think I can.
芸能人。大人気番組女神戦隊アークレンジャーのアークレンジャーブルー役。芸能人って人に注目されるのが仕事でしょ？
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of TT Star a little bit.
人から注目を浴びるのは避けるようなことじゃありませんから。むしろそんなことしちゃダメでしょ？それで稼いでるんですから。
そうか。
あら、がっかりしました？
いや、そうではない。そう見えたならすまない。なんというか自分は何なんだろうと思ってしまってな。
ブラックは何になりたいんです？
私は本物の。
Interesting, I like the Japanese here.
私は本物の。
Here in the Japanese, it's like, I want to be a real... And then the next line stops talking. because she really wants to say a real hero, but is unsure of it.
知ってます？チーム内でキャラが被ってはダメなこと。
どういうことだ？
そうですね。レッドはテレビの中だけのヒーローでいることにしました。ブラックみたいにテレビの外でもヒーローでいようと精一杯努力してうまくいかなかったので、それでそういうことに決めています。アークレンジャーレッドはテレビの中にだけ存在するヒーローです。アークレンジャーのリーダーとしてアークを脅かすラプチャー怪人と全力で戦っていて、どんなピンチが訪れても諦めないし、仲間のために自分を犠牲にする強さと決してくじけない心を持っている。まさに完全無欠のヒーロー。それがテレビの中にいるアークレンジャーレッドだから、レッドはレッドをテレビの中だけの存在にするしかなかった。アークレンジャーレッドは完璧すぎて本物にはなりきれないから。私はテレビの中のアークレンジャーブルーは架空の存在だと思ってますから。私とアークレンジャーブルーは同じ人じゃありません。ブルーはブルー、私は私。それ以上は何も思いません。正直それが一番普通じゃないですか。とにかく同じチームの中でキャラを被らせちゃいけないこと。レッドはテレビの中だけのヒーロー。ブルーはだったらブラックはどういうキャラで行くべきでしょうね。もう出てるでしょ、答えは。迷う必要はありません。絶望に打ちひしがれてもまた立ち上がるのが本物の。
励ましてくれてありがとう、ブルー。
あ、二人とも来てたのか。行こうぜ。そろそろ撮影が始まるみたいだ。
ああ、行こう。
She was close to helping Black there, but I think Black's traumas were too strong.
ええ、今日も頑張りましょう。
よーし、久しぶりの撮影だ。まずは軽く変身シーンからやるぞ。一人ずつ単独のアップで変身だ。分かってるな。
了解。
じゃあブラックから始めるか。レディーアクション。
顔を上げて空を見、私たちが何のために戦っているのか。そうすればどんな恐怖も乗り越えられる。アークレンジャーブラック変身。
Yeah.
カットカットカット。どうしたんだよブラック。久しぶりの撮影で緊張したか。ほら深呼吸して、もう一回行くぞ。レディーアクション。
顔を上げて空を見ろ。私たちが何のために戦っているのか目に。そうすればどんな恐怖も乗り越えられる。アークレンジャーブラック。へっ。
カットカットカット。おいおい、この調子じゃ変身シーンだけで今日が終わっちまうぞ。とりあえずレッドとブルーから先。気にするな。そう、ブラックのシーンはできるだけ後回しにするから少し休めな。シーン変更。レッドから行きます。
I'm actually surprised they wanted to start with Black anyway, because normally you'd want to start with the red. That day, for the rest of the shoot, Archangel Black doesn't transform even once. Yeah. Okay. I am warming up a little bit more to the characters, but I'm still not at the type of moment where, like, I really like this type of character type of thing. It's not really there just yet for me. I still like them, but it's more intrigue than anything.
たか。これがまさに正義の力だ。
110.
変身できそうにないって。ボタンを押せばいいだけだろ。できてるじゃないか。
そうですね。
おい、どうした？ヘルメット解除、早く。
まさかブルーは。
スーツの選択。
本当にすまない。
大丈夫か？
いや、
スーツを着る資格がないと思ったのか？本物のヒーローじゃないから？
そうだ。スーツを着ていることに耐えられない。
So when again, I don't know why I keep trying to compare the lines. When I read the word ridiculous, I thought it was probably going to say like a baka she. I think that's the right way of saying it. But it was more tairarenai, cannot handle it or cannot withstand it. I think that's what she said.
何でも解決できるような顔をして、威勢よくアークレンジャーの名乗りを上げたところで、私は小さな命一つ守れなかった。たとえ馬鹿げたヒーローごっこでも、あの子は勇気を得て希望を見出していたのに、その勇気も希望も恥ずかしい。あのスーツも何もかも嘘ばっかりだ。見かけ倒しのスーツを着て、見かけ倒しの技の名前を叫ぶ、ただのハリボテに過ぎないんだ。
その気持ちはよくわかる。いつか俺が言ったこと覚えてるか？
ヒーローとは自分の信念を貫くも覚えているさ。その言葉を。
その信念ってやつだけどな。そんなに重く考える必要はないんだ。俺はみんなに勇気を与えるヒーローになるって決めた。それって本物のヒーローじゃなくてもできることなんだよ。テレビの中のヒーローだって十分だろ。みんなに勇気を与えることができるって部分が変わらないなら、まあそうした自分が正しいって言いたいわけじゃないけどな。どうにも気に入らないみたいだな。ブラック、どうして本物のヒーローにこだわるんだ？
お前が聞くことじゃないだろう。同じ考えだったはずだ。は
あ、そうだな。そのことじゃ俺が先輩だった。大した理由なんてないだろ。ただそうありたいから。みんなにもっと多くの勇気を与えたいから。
ああ、
頑張ってくれ。俺に手伝えることは何もなさそうだ。折れちまった先輩ですまない。
お前がそう見えたことは一度もない。これからもそうだ。
涙が出そうだ。ありがとよ。
I don't know what's gonna happen. I honestly do feel like someone's gonna drag her back into it, and I keep thinking about Lapless. Filming for the Archranger Black scenes has been suspended indefinitely. No matter what she tries, she is unable to don the suit. The moment she puts it on, dizziness and nausea set in. The repair center finds no abnormalities with her. As a result, she ends up with an unexpected period of rest. Time passes, but her condition does not improve. Her break gets longer by the day. Archranger Black sits at a table on Punk Street, staring blankly out at the street. Everything is peaceful. During her break, incidences large and small still occur within the Ark. But thanks to the Ark's comprehensive systems, there are no casualties. Perhaps heroes aren't needed in the Ark at all. Perhaps no one needs something like courage. As these thoughts go through her head, Ark Ranger Black reaches for the drink in front of her. The sound of glass shattering rings through the air. Someone must have dropped their cup. Ark Ranger Black doesn't bother turning to look. It's probably nothing serious, and even if it were, the Ark has systems in place that will handle it. She brings her drink to her lips. Oh, I see. I thought maybe like this incident would probably be like someone dropped a cup, someone's maybe choking or something like that, and she's being negligent about that situation. So I thought, okay, well, she's gonna have a more dramatic thing with that. Glass shattering and this cracking sound. It's a EC EC or I can't remember those crystals' names. Those power crystals. I can't remember what they were called. Those are what she's at. This is what that situation is at the moment. Was this one with Liverin? Oh, I can't remember. There was multiple instances of this starting, but I think this is probably the first one. This is probably one where the door opened and the gate, the glass was thrown through, the jar was thrown through the door. The door was hidden door was shut, and then this whole thing started in the Ark. Her ears perk up at an unfamiliar sound. Yep, it is. E9 crystals, I think it's called. Ark Ranger Black springs to her feet. Her gaze runs towards the source of the sound. Stunning, beautiful crystal is racing down the street. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. That's one thing I do actually give a credit towards this story. Is it's going through an alternate view of what has happened in the Ark during these specific moments, not through a grand tale. Because another thing I was thinking maybe what happened is we see the moments with when the heretics enter to try to get Talkative and Chatterbox, Talkative in Japanese. When they try to get him out as well as Individia, and then Dorothy comes and helps and saves it. I thought maybe that might be another moment we might see the side of, but that went straight to the E9 crystals. I think I'm just going to call it E9 crystals. I can't remember what they were called. Ark Ranger Black sprints down the street at full speed. The crystal is unfamiliar to her, but she instinctively recognizes it as a threat. Fortunately, the crystal is not that fast. She can keep her distance. After running far ahead, she stops in the middle of the street and turns to look back. A throng of people rush past her. Their faces filled with fear. I wonder if Anis will be the one to actually help her. Because I remember there was a specific time when Anis was interacting with one of her older people who knew her from TT Star, caused trauma to her, and it was a time when she actually thought of even abandoning that guy as well. But then I remember the time when she actually gained more courage and fought for everybody at that moment. And then she had everybody evacuate to the outer rim past the gate. I wonder if she'll be one of them that will go with her. Because I do remember them saying that even some not ordinary Nikkes were among the civilians that couldn't really do anything to help. If I recall correctly, it's been a while.
ハリボテの私にできることなど。
ちょっとあなた。
Yeah. Well, no, this is her just calling out to her, but nice moment here.
悪いけどこの人たちをお願い。
Well, I do feel like there was a moment that she said that in the story itself. Huh. I want to make a note of this. I want to take a look to see if I can look back into it before I do my epilogue, I should say. 1 second. Okay, I remember it's actually E2 crystals. I think it's the E2 crystals. I just remember it was E something. I think it was E2 crystals. Anis comes running and carrying 2 people over her shoulders and hands them off to Archranger Black. Caught off guard, Archranger Black takes them. While Anis continues charging forward.
あれはカウンターズの。
みんな走って早く。
Archranger Black runs after Anis, her eyes fixed on Anis's back. After running for a while, one of the people being carried speaks up. Are you Archranger Black? She lowers her head.
いや、人違いだ。
She keeps running. She finds herself watching Anis without even realizing it. She continues following her. Anis keeps running as she shouts and saves more people. But none of her words can be made out even though she's shouting. Only one thing is clear. Anis is running to save people. Archranger Black runs after her as if spellbound. Anis heads towards the tunnel connected to the plaza. Crossing into the dark tunnel, she kicks open a closed door. The outer room's partition is revealed. Yeah, okay, so it is this moment. She destroyed an unmanned robot and charges towards the partition. Out of nowhere, Eternity appears and Anis begins engaging her in combat. Archranger Black's gaze is transfixed on Anis. Everything is in chaos. That's all Archranger Black can think of as she watches the fight. Disparity in their power is overwhelming, and Anis is being completely overpowered by Eternity.
どう見ても格闘戦の経験がない。全くの素人なのか。
Because she's trained to fight raptors, not Nikke's.
違う。そこは踏み込めばかわせた。待て、それはフェイントだ。ダメだ。それを食らっては。露骨な四角狙いだ。足を止めるんじゃない。むやみに拳を振り回すな。何度もカウンターされているだろう。あ、倒れた。あんなものを食らっては。もう立てないだろう。まだ戦っている。なんという根性だ。目から闘志が消えていない。そこだ。隙をついて一気に畳みかけろ。空振りか。反撃が来るぞ。今度こそもう。やはり力なき勇気。できる勇気だけでは。
Even so.
立ち上がってくれ。立ち上がって。もう一度。私たちのために戦ってくれ。私に勇気を与えてくれ。立ってくれ。立ち上がるんだ。見たい。君が立ち上がる姿を。立って勝利する姿が。立ってくれ。どうか。立った。立ち上がった。開けるな。勝ってくれ。
Battered and broken, Anis shouts at Eternity.
期待に応えなきゃいけないの。とにかくみんなが私を見てる。期待でいっぱいの目をしてね。だから私はどんな手を使ってで でも私を見てるみんなのためになんとかしなきゃいけないのよ。
I find it funny how with this chapter, as I mentioned before, they tend to put the chapters in a way that the side stories in a way that doesn't impact the main story, because the main story obviously far ahead, it can contain spoilers. They don't want any novices to enter the side story thinking that they'd be seeing a new story, while they're not far ahead in the main story. Yet this one is littered with main story side content, main story I should say.
みんなの期待に応えるしかないの。今だってそう、みんなが私だけを見てる。だからなんとかしなきゃ。知らないふりなんてできない。
Ah, that's bright. Blinding flash of light, a hole is pierced through the partition. Stupefied, Archranger Black steps through the partition. She can only sit down and stare dumbly until everything comes to a close. All around her is chaos. The injured and those helping them move about in a flurry. Archranger Black watches the scene for a long time.
何かしないと。何でもいい。やらなくては。
She gets up and begins tending to the injured. The first aid skill she learned during her spare time comes into good use. A long while after tending to the wounded, the Ark begins to shake. I remembered certain things where they were kept mentioning about Nikke's in the background during this time. And I wonder if this is referencing to this. Almost automatically, Archranger Black looks at Anis. A realization suddenly dawns on her, and she looks around. Everyone is watching Anis. Anis meets those gazes head on and runs off somewhere. Archranger Black feels a sudden warmth rise in her chest. Interesting. I'm actually surprised it's Anis that is giving her hope again. I'm just seeing this now. Assembling Arc Leon's head. I think, remember, I haven't been to the field in a while, but they're probably building the robot. Is that what we're going to be using in the end? Let's see. Okay. Huh. I really do want to go through this chapter again and take a look and see. I'm always thinking about past moments that were in the story, and there was a moment when Lapis was also hesitating from trauma about a building that was about to collapse. I wonder if that was actually the exact same moment as well. Interesting. Might be the last one for normal story one. Oh, story the parts over. Okay. Swish. A massive barbell is hoisted into the air. The massive barbell crashes down onto the floor with a loud noise.
今の見たか？
ええ、あれって何キロです？
さあな、少なくとも何百だろうな。
何百 400, yeah. Pounds is I don't know why they're using pounds. Isn't that an American measurement, I think? Just taking a look. Oops, got that wrong. Yeah. Which I find interesting because obviously English be more American. obviously they wouldn't use that in Japanese or Korean
片手で持ち上げてましたよね。
on one hand.
ああ、
念力？
なわけあるか。もし本当に使えたとしても、あいつはトレーニングで使わねえよ。超能力みたいなのは反則だって思ってるタイプだからな。
レッド、ブルー、ジムは神聖な鍛錬の場だ。雑談なら外でしてくれ。
お前が呼んだんだろ。それより調子が戻ったみたいだな。トレーニングなんてしばらくやってなかったのに。
そうですね。何かあったんですか？
特に何もない。ただ考え方が変わっただけだ。ファンクストリートの事件に居合わせたんだ。気づいた時には自然と応援していた。その応援に相手が応えてくれた時、勇気が湧いた。無力でもいい、負けても構わない。諦めずに立ち向かい続ければ、それだけで勇気を与えることができるんだ。私はもう一度挑戦する。本物のヒーローになるために。そして今よりもっと強くなって、二度とホープのような悲劇は起こさせない。
いいんじゃないか。応援するよ。
やっとバカ真面目なブラックにも。
バカではない。
I'm just thinking, how would people translate baka these days? Because baka is not stupid or idiots, but because people obviously get hurt easily with words these days, I guess you could say. So, not too sure. Obviously, this is probably their way, but again, translations probably not the same.
それで何のために呼んだんだ？力自慢でもするつもりか？
私は、いや、なんでもない。顔が見たくなっただけだ。
アークレンジャーからアウトしたいですか？
Huh.
なぜでしょう？
Why? Again, I don't understand why. It's so annoying. Like, if you didn't understand English or French, oh sorry, Japanese or French, if you were doing this, or just English, I should say, if this was in the English dub, you wouldn't have no idea what he's saying if you didn't know French.
レッドとブルーまで怪我したくない。
Interesting. Again, I keep making comparisons, but here in the Japanese, she says she doesn't want to hurt red or blue. I think in terms of, I think what she means by this is, hurting them in terms of the job or other things because of her, wanting to be a true hero. She doesn't want to, how is this? And to impact, she doesn't want it to impact the Dark Rangers.
私にはアークレンジャーが。
To me, it's nothing more than being a clown.
OK。トークしたいことは分かりました。
Okay, I understand the talk.
では、そのアフターは何をするつもりですか？
Well then, what do you plan on doing after leaving the Arc Rangers?
どこの配属でも構わない。アークを守れる部隊なら何でも。
Ah, interesting. So she wants to full-time it. She doesn't want to just be on the side.
そこで本物を目指したい。
To me, it almost feels like similar to with Anis in a sense, where, well, Anis is actually a different story. How would I put this? Hmm.
テレビの中にしかないものがフェイクというわけではありません。
Oh, yeah, he uses in English fake. Just because something is on television doesn't mean it's fake.
このトークはここまでです。
待ってくれ、マスタング。私は。
ピープルがわーい、テレビを視するのか。
What is the reason when people watch television?
よくシンクしてください。See you, アークブラック。
See you.
今日はちゃんと撮影できるか心配だな。
Hmm?
今日はちゃんと撮影できるか心配だな。
そうですね。最後にカメラの前に立ったのいつだったかも思い出せません。
ブラック、さっきから何をそんなに考え込んでるんだ？
I just remembered now, with Mustang saying that not everything on TV is fake. And then it kind of shot back to my thinking that the robot. There was a thing with how Mustang wanted everything to become more realistic, more not relying on CG. And now with us trying to construct the robots, that there might be something that ends up being. I had a funny thought that maybe the road we're actually building isn't the Leon whatever robot they're making, but actually Mecha Shifty, which is so funny.
本当ですね。一日中溜まり込んでるし。
Arc Ranger Black looks intently at red and blue.
なんだよ、ジロジロ見て。
何か言いたいことでも？
すまない。
本当にどうしたんだよ。
よくわからないですけど、また一人だけの世界に閉じこもっちゃったみたいね。
みんな解散だ。
また？
ああ、どうしようもない。例のクリスタルテロだかなんだかのせいでアークが大変なことになってるからな。撮影みたいな大掛かりな集まりは全面禁止になっちまってるんだ。少しぐらいなら見逃してもらえるかと思ったが、どうにも厳しいな。
再開はいつ？
さあな、全く。
Sorry for skipping. The director stays at the rig where Arc Leon is stationed.
早く動かしてみたいんだけどな。アークランダーとアークファルコンも準備ができたってのにもどかしい。
Okay, so Auckland, Falcon, are there are two more, okay.
さすがに市場を入れすぎじゃないか。
人事みたいに言うなよ。お前だって楽しみで仕方ないくせに。アークマシンってはしゃいでいただろ。
そりゃあまあロマンだからな、巨大メカは。
Well, I can't help but doing this, but here in the Japanese, she uses the word roman, which is obviously romance, but what it's used for is more like. So a good example is like otoko no roman. It's like a boy's romance. What this refers to is like this fast brawling action, like things that really young boys really like that type of. It sets the heart to place. So yeah, with the otoko no roman, or with her roman in a sense, is giant mechs, like the setting and everything like that. So Dream is not particularly how I would envision it, but again, as I mentioned, there's the translation differences, but yeah.
そうだな。巨大メカは最高のロマンだ。
Yeah, even here they're using Roman.
とにかく今日は解散だ。撮影できない間のコストはテトラが持ってくれるからまだ良かったが、このままじゃ食いっぱぐれるのも時間の問題だな。
早く状況が良くなることを祈るしかありませんね。
そうだな。
それにしても本当に大変なことになりましたね。出歩く人が目に見えて減っています。
誰だって怖いからな。今日のお前、ほんと様子が変だぞ。
いや、なんでもない。二人とも話 話があるんだが、よかったら。
Right, I think there was a time with that when the power went off. Was this the time with Elig, where they wanted to talk more about the power situation? I can't remember. Darkness. Suddenly it falls over the ark.
なんだ、
停電ですか？
アーク全部が。
Oh, this was when they were fighting. What was her name? The AI. I remember this fight. This part now. I remember it now. Okay. A massive explosion echoes from deep within the pitch dark ark. The explosions continue, followed by violent tremors. And in that moment, screams fill the streets.
これは一体。
I believe it was that moment because that was when a fighter could was a blackout. But interesting to see another side to it. I do remember they were worried about the darkness putting people in and making them afraid, but I didn't expect the sounds of the explosions and the fights to echo around. That can easily scare people. Okay, now it's the last one for story 1. In the pitch black darkness of the ark, civilians fall into panic, with not an inch of visibility ahead of them.
まさか。
何か思い当たることでも？
ブラック、ブルー、民間人を避難させるんだ。
避難と言われてもどこに？
電子機器がない場所に。この停電は多分クリスタルテロへの対策だ。
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it.
急げ。
Really good way of thinking about it, actually. They calm the panicked citizens and instruct them to shut down all electronic devices. They guide them to a plaza as far as possible from other buildings.
よし、ここまでやれば。
Murmur. The panic subsides somewhat, but the anxious murmuring of the citizens still fill the air. The surroundings remain dark, and distant explosions continue.
皆さんご注目ください。まずは冷静に落ち着いてください。今はただ電気が消えているだけです。停電とは何かしばらくすれば元に戻るでしょうから。
The sound of explosions aren't going to help with that. A loud explosion echoes in the distance.
まったく花火大会でもやってるのかしら。どうせやるならちゃんとアーク全体で見られるようにしてくれないとね。でも本当に何か深刻なことが。今頃兵士の人たちだって走り回ってるはずですが、つまり単なる停電という。私たちアークレンジャーも皆さんと一緒にここにいます。
I'm reading at my own pace again. Gotta remember to not do that. Certain citizens react to the name Arc Rangers. Gradually, the fear begins to fade.
よかった。少し落ち着いたみたいです。
助かったな。このまま何事もなく終わってくれればいいんだが。
戦闘しているようだな。
多分な。何と何が戦ってるのかは想像もつかないけど。
The distant explosions suddenly stop.
終わったみたい。
I can't remember how this next crystal started again. It's been a while since I've read this part of the story. Crystals erupt from the ground.
なんだ。
クリスタル、電子機器を狙うはずじゃ。
一刻も早くみんなを避難させ。
避難って。
Crystals burst up all across the plaza. Oh right, this is during the fight. This is when Anis got her massive power up. There are not that many crystals, but it's more than enough to send the civilians back into a panic.
まずい。みんな落ち着いて。
People scatter in panic. Archranger Black stands frozen, unable to move. Annie's gonna help her again. In that moment, a young girl falls in front of her. Her phone slips from the girl's hand. On the screen, an Archranger's video is playing. Well, they're supposed to turn off electronics and she's still playing it, but ignore that. A crystal pierces straight through the phone. The girl chokes back tears. She calls out desperately to the Archrangers.
テレビの中にしかないものがフェイクというわけではありません。People が Why テレビを視するのかよくシンクしてください。
Archranger Black looks around at the pandemonium.
アークレンジャーは恐れない。アークレンジャーはみんなに勇気を与える存在だ。そうか、本物のヒーロー。
Archranger Black throws off her hood.
アークレンジャーブラック変身必殺
She leaps up. With her legs standing straight, she descends rapidly.
アークブラック
You're already trying to attack the crystal that absorbs electricity and you're full of it. Struck by her attack, the crystal shatters into fragments. In an instant, all eyes turn to Archranger Black.
アークにあだなすクリスタル怪人どもめ許さん。アークレンジャーがいる限りアークの人々に指一本触れさせはしない。
Archranger Black begins taking down the crystalline formations erupting from the ground. Interesting picture. With precise and honed movements, clearly trained to the extreme, she strikes them down one after another.
くらえアークブラックこれだ
Electricity which they again beat off. It rises and Black crushes it with a spinning roundhouse kick.
分かってこんなことをしたって本当どれだけ馬鹿げているかそんなことは分かっている。覚悟しろクリスタル怪人どもだが無意味で何が悪い。馬鹿げていて何が悪い。ヒーローごっこで何が悪い。とどめだ必殺。それで見ている人が恐怖を忘れられるなら私はいくらでもピエロになってやる。ヒーローとはアークブラックメテオ人々に勇気を与える存在のことだ。
Blue lightning crashes down. The crystals shatter into pieces. Archranger Black raises her fist high.
アークの平和は私たちアークレンジャーが守る。
Ah, and this is when Anis starts. The arc lights up. Same time, all the crystals begin to crumble and vanish. The crystal's poison that had been eating away at Archranger's Black's body dissipates. Okay, so yeah, I thought as much. So she was actually going to just sacrifice herself. Backlit by the skyline of the Ark, Archranger Black strikes a victorious pose. Cheers for the plaza. A collective cry of courage. On-screen hero end.
顔を上げて空を見ろ。私たちが何のために戦っているのか目に焼き付けておくんだ。そうすればどんな恐怖も乗り越えられる。アークレンジャーブラック変身。
よー待ってました。久々に見られたな。
監督声が入っている。
なあと俺としたことが久々の変身に感激しちまって。もう一回やってくれるな。
もちろんだ。何度でもやろう。
あら、それって嫉妬と羨望の眼差しですか？
実際そんなところだな。 負けてらんね
応援してます。
Eh?
報告を聞こう。
今回も同じ状況です。
Um, um, I was gonna say, is that hero because, oh, not hero, sorry, hope, because what it might be, but then it didn't have a name tag, so it makes you think, is it him? Maybe it isn't him, but twin brother, maybe. And now what's this? Oh, I remember there was the when they were promoting the new Archrangers story, they had the old ship that the goddess squad was using during the first Rapture fight, or second Rapture, I can't remember which one it was. The Rapture War. And I remember they were looking for it. They couldn't find it. They were looking for it. And I remember seeing it on the promotional art for Archrangers. So there was a thought that that might play into the story. I completely forgot about it until now when I saw that they were looking for something. Surface search operator.
中心に巨大なクレーターが確認され、それ以外に戦闘の痕跡はありません。
What is this about? Things are just like before. Large craters formed at the center. Beyond that, there are no other signs of battle.
周辺のニケは全員死亡。ラプチャーもすべて機能停止していました。
What is this about now?
同じだな、これまでと。
It's like before.
はい。外傷が確認できないことまで同じです。ニケもラプチャーも。
部隊が消息を絶ち、捜索に向かった部隊も同じ状態で全滅。このまま兵力の投入を続けても繰り返しになるだけだな。わかった。直ちに帰還しろ。
了解しました。
Ingrid places another call.
ああ、私だ。現在地はどこだ？そうか。まだかなり距離があるな。一つ頼まれてはもらえないか？ああ、おそらく危険だ。だからこうして連絡している。
Are they calling the counters Neon or Rap as well, or the Absolute Squad?
そうか。協力に感謝する。カウンターズ諸君。
Yeah, okay, counters. Interesting. Okay. Huh. Okay. That's interesting. Now I am intrigued. I wonder what that was about. So the robot's built. Interesting. A lot of talking. Okay, so I'm just going to put the sound off. So I am going to... Wait, when's story 2 coming out? In 6 days. Okay, then a week. About a week ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at that story with Anis and the E2 crystals. I want to take a look to see if there was actually any potential that we could have seen or heard of Archranger Black being there. It would be actually quite interesting to see that. After that, I will do a thoughts on story 1. Because I actually want to think about what that was about. A crater with nothing inside of it. No, there was a crater, but okay, I gotta go over that again. That was interesting. And it's got to do with... I just thought now that we're gonna be on a detour again, the counters. We've been trying to get back to Johan and them for a long time now, but kept getting sidetracked. We've got another sidetrack to go on, I guess. I wonder if that's leading up to the next campaign then, campaign quest. Or if this is just going to be a side story. Kind of like how there was that whole big story with Absolutes during their side story. This whole bigger thing with these new kind of raptures. But nothing else came out of it. It's just nothing else. So it'll be interesting to see that. Yeah, I'll be back just now to see with my thoughts. Yeah, back for the end epilogue. So, from what I just a bit of sound, I guess. So I looked back at chapter, I think it was 32 or 34. I didn't actually fully recall. I just remembered seeing it. It was a time when the crystals first started activating. Anis was running with Mint and Prika, or they were in the area, and she was also talking to Nikke a lot as well. So I couldn't really fully notice. She was offloading people here and there with other people, so might have been one of Archranger Black there, not too sure. But yeah, it was E2 crystals as well. I saw that as well. So, story 1 of Archranger. Went into it really not expecting much. Hoping for a little bit of backstory, maybe a bit of lore dump, something around that lines. Didn't really get that. Story was pretty good. I did enjoy the story. Seeing the struggles and the breakthroughs that Archranger Black had. I actually kind of wanted to see a little bit more about the other two rangers as well. I might see that in story 2, but I don't know. Yeah, and then we had the weird ending. I say weird mainly because we had a hero lookalike. Sorry, I keep saying hero, Hope lookalike. We were under the assumption that Hope died. And even what Archranger Black was saying as well, wanting to protect Hope and such. But right at the end we see someone who looks like Hope, mad, upset, angry. So I have no idea what that's about. And then we had the ending there with there's a minigame story. I completely forgot there was a minigame. I forgot they normally have minigames. Pick up robots. I forgot there's gonna be a story with it as well. I don't have time for this, unfortunately. Yeah, so that'll be it for now. I will what did I just explain? I'm not really too interested with the minigame story. That's why it's normally just to help to explain the story itself. I should think it's probably about the robots anyway. I'm looking forward to story 2, seeing how that progresses, what we're going to learn from that supposed crater with the counter squad. There'll be some more obviously with the Archrangers, because there was the ending there. Maybe we'll see more about Archranger Red, but seeing the Hope lookalike, we might see more of Black. Not too sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'll see you guys when we do story 2. I hope you all enjoyed it. It's a little bit longer today, and I'll see you all next time.